Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday, and that means it's Poppin' Bravo Day. And as you guys know, on Poppin' Bravo, I love to talk about Bravo. And I've got the best person to talk about Bravo. It is Miguel Luciano. Am I saying that right?
Well, I like the way I just say Miguel Luciano, but you gave it like an Italian flair, so I'll take yours.
I gave it Italian at the end. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm into it.
Uh, just like Countess Luann. I speak 5
Oh,
languages, darling.
and you know what, twirling story. But and also Doreen is a child of the world, and she would absolutely say Miguel Luciano.
she would,
Absolutely.
she would, she would say it in a whole different accent. A whole different
Completely. She would maybe each syllable would be in a different accent. I would
accent.
love, Miguel Luciano. Yeah, she's got about 4 accents she could do there.
Child of the world. Now, okay, so everybody knows you from the Instagram, the TikTok. Your social media is incredible.
Mhm.
It was probably maybe 8, 9, 10 months ago. My daughter, who's 22, was like, "Have you seen this guy on TikTok?" And it was you doing a Mary Cosby impression. And I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "He's come across my thing, you know." And honestly, I'm a person that tries not to get on TikTok because then I can't get off,
Yeah, totally.
like a full addict, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not so much with Instagram. Instagram, I'm able to put it down, but with TikTok, I'm not. So I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "I've seen him coming more and more on my Instagram." I was like, I was following him. So it was my 22-year-old daughter. So you get the range of women here. And as then it was more and more and more, and it was growing. I was like, "Oh my God." And now he's hanging out with bro and bro. Oh my God.
It's
I'm so
pretty wild
jealous.
how yeah, it's pretty wild how it has unfolded for sure. Uh,
Give me the whole thing. So you're an acting teacher.
yeah, so I'm a professional actor, been acting since I was a kid professionally, and then
Okay.
I started teaching even at 15. So I was teaching
Ooh.
theater to kids at a little school called Peaches School of Dance and Music in North Miami Beach in Miami, where I was from, born and raised. And basically, I've been acting professionally my whole life, teaching acting my whole life. I've never had a job outside of acting.
Okay.
Um, so it's been a pretty specific world that I've been in. But I knew it was time to pivot because I was on a TV show many years ago on Nickelodeon, and then I was up for a couple of things and nothing ever happened. So I was like, okay, I turned 30 last year. I was like, I got to get out of Miami and I have to revitalize myself somehow. I got stuck in the same pattern of auditioning, a play in Miami, a commercial in Miami, being close to something. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
at some point, something's got to give. So I said, my best friend told me, you got to get online. And I was so intimidated because I was like, I don't know how, I don't even, like, I post selfies. Like, I don't know I'm not,
Yeah.
I was not doing anything like of content creation. And he was like, well, you're really good at impersonations because I've been impersonating my teachers in elementary school, middle school, high school. My principal used to call me out of math class to impersonate the faculty to the office staff. I mean, it's been like I've been doing this my whole life,
I
you
love
know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and nothing makes me happier than making people laugh,
Yeah.
and I happen to be really good at impersonation. So I was like, okay, maybe. And he was like, you should do the Housewives because you're really good at them. And I was like, no, I do not want to do that. That's so like I'm such a Miami bro. Like I'm not such a Miami bro. I'm a theater kid, but half of me is like I was raised by Miami bro. So a part of me is like, no, that's dorky. Like there was that voice of like a
But you were
friend.
watching all these shows
I was
beforehand.
watching them
Okay.
shamelessly. I would tell
Okay.
everyone I love the Housewives. But one thing was like me saying it to people around me and then me posting it, you know?
Mhm, mhm,
Long
mhm,
story short, I said, I got to get over myself. Like my life has to change somehow. I can't stay stuck, you know?
mhm.
And if it, and I think the biggest thing that made me like the deciding factor that made me end up posting these impersonations was that I was afraid what people would think of me. And that being the problem, like that being the thing was embarrassing to me. I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, really? Like you're like that's so dumb." Like I was ashamed of that shame. So I said, "Well, now we got," you
Yeah,
know.
okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
"Okay, really, if that's the reason, then now you have to do it." It wasn't because I
Okay.
wanted to succeed. I wasn't because I thought I was going to do amazing at it. I posted it because I was like, it's embarrassing that you're embarrassed.
Right.
So I posted, and I one thing led to another, and I started posting in TikTok last November.
Okay, so what was the first one that you did?
The first one I think was the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City as acting coaches.
Okay.
Because I was at the studio, the acting coach that I would teach at, and I was like, all right, well, I'm already here. Uh, all right, I'll do, Mary Cosby giving someone an acting note would be really funny. So I did, you know, the Housewives of Salt Lake City acting coaching. And that one did okay, and I was like, okay, it took 50 likes or something. All right. And then the next one I think was the Real Housewives of New York as therapists. So, like, Dorinda letting you have it about your mother-in-law and, just that whole thing. And Sonia Morgan interrupting, being like, well, my shaman's out of town. He's in Africa right now. I mean, so I don't even know what I'm going to do. So, and then I got my dentist over there in Beverly Hills. So, I mean, I hear you. We're all, So that one kind of did badly. And I was like, oh God, the rejection hurt. It felt like so like, I was like, this is so pointless. And then a friend of mine at the studio, Sue Kate, was like, you should do the Housewives as opening Christmas gifts. Housewives of Salt Lake City opening Christmas gifts. And I was on my first date. The first date, Romy, I'm going to be 30 minutes late. I was like, great. Let me just do this Christmas gift thing really quickly. Posted it on my way to the first date. It's blowing up. Like blowing up right before so I'm at the date and I'm like,
you're like, you don't even know how famous I'm about to be.
I couldn't even understand it. I could not understand it because the phenomenon of a video taking off is insane.
Yeah.
It's just insane. So then from there, that was the beginning of that. And then shortly after, that was probably December 20th or something, the TikTok ban happened. I moved over my videos from TikTok to Instagram for those 2 days that we were banned from TikTok. And then from there, like wildfire, it was the TikTok ban was the greatest thing that could have happened to my content creation.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting you're saying that because like my daughter saw you on TikTok and then I was like, I think he's on Instagram. I was like, I've seen it. And that just sounds all like exactly how it happened. Like me discovering you. And she was, of course, my daughter, everything. She's like, you should interview him. Everything. It doesn't matter who it is in the world. And she'll see, Julia Roberts on TV and be like, she's so pretty. You should interview her. I'm like, I should. She thinks I should interview anyone.
Julia Roberts.
She thinks I should interview everyone. So I told her I was doing this today. She was like, I would like to tell you that I'm the one that showed you him. And that's how I go, no. Okay. So she wants credit, by the way.
Well, I like it. I mean, hey, if she noticed me last November, she noticed me right in the beginning. So she's an OG fan. So when I come out with merch, remind me, and your daughter's getting a shirt. You and your daughter are both getting shirts.
Okay. Thank you. I need the merch. I love merch. So, okay. All right. So do you watch things on TV that are not Bravo? Because you told me before this, you're like, I only do Housewives. I was like, that's all we talk about here.
Okay, perfect. I mean, I watch like regular television series, but as an acting coach, at the end of the day, I do not want to watch actors on TV. Like, it's not enjoyable for me. It's not fun because I can't turn that part of my brain off. So when a performance is great, I'm completely enveloped in it. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And when it's bad, I'm frustrated and annoyed because I'm like, how did this performance get? I mean, and I know how a person gets cast. I'm fully aware, but like in the moment, I'm like, this was their best take. Like I just go wild. So reality TV for me is an escape from my professional life. Because I don't have to like be assessing things. Even though sometimes I can tell when the housewives are acting. I can tell when they're like, when they've got like a line. I can see
really?
it.
Really?
Because I'm annoyingly perceptive and I can see when they're totally dropped into their body and they're really being themselves and they truly forget a camera's there. And then when they're trying to get a line out, I'm like, oh.
Right. And sometimes you could see too, with like the gout dick sucker latest line. It's like, who in the car came up with that and said, yeah, you should call her a dick sucker, that she sucks a guy that has gout. I was like, gout's not sweeping the nation. It's not like something that everybody's going to know what gout is. I guarantee you 99% of people had to look it up,
Yeah, I thought it felt flat for me. But I also like there's certain kinds of comedy that don't work for me. Like ageism doesn't work for me. Like I've never found that funny ever. We're lucky to be alive and to get older. So like fine, she's married a guy older than her. Like it didn't do it for me.
Right.
The GDS of it all. The GDS. And I'm sorry, but Mary, Bronwyn ate down. That girl just sliced and diced Lisa Barlow like a Lunchable. I was like, there are very few times I watch a housewife show and I get a visceral reaction of satisfaction. Like, whoo, hoo, hoo. Oh my God, do you follow Grace Snow?
Say it again.
You follow Christian Grace Snow on
I know Christian. Yeah, I know him very well. Yes. Love him.
He did a meme recently of Sheree reacting to Bronwyn and Lisa that and he hit the nail right on the head. I was like,
he's so funny.
A reaction of joy. So yeah, GDS was rehearsed in my opinion, or someone dropped it in her thing. I'm like, that was the weirdest it just didn't land. Yeah. So sometimes I can tell when things feel a little planted.
Yes, yes, and I will tell you this last, episode we had of Salt Lake, when they get into the fight, Lisa is like, "Dismissed, dismissed, dismissed," and they get into the fight, and Whitney got so mad. I was like, "No, that was real."
That was real.
She
She
was
was
real,
really
real pissed.
Yeah, yeah, she was really pissed, and to the point where she got up and left. Like Whitney's the thing about Salt Lake City is that they're all there to play. They're there to
Mhm,
do their jobs. They're really good about it. Like they don't let their own stuff get in the way of the work. You know,
mhm.
for her to get up and leave means that she really activated her. Yeah.
She got over there and kinda got in her face, and I was like, "Oh, don't do that. Don't do
And then
that."
Lisa pushed her. I was like, oh no. I mean, she's better than I am because if someone pushed me, I'd grab that poster board and smack it over her head because I don't like to be touched. I don't believe in violence, but a physical touch is physical touch, man. When someone touches you, it makes you feral, doesn't it? Like an animal, like, whoa, back up.
I didn't like it at all, and I didn't like which was so funny too, is that Lisa goes, "Something, something, you're fake with your red hair," and Whitney goes, "You called me a redneck?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait,
Wait,
what?"
but I also think that Whitney posted that being called a redhead is worse because because it's an insult to her. I guess she's dyed her hair red for her daughter in support
Yes,
of redheads. So
yes.
she's like, this is exactly the shit that I'm doing. I'm dyeing my red hair in solidarity for redheads, and you insulting me because of my red hair is exactly why I'm doing this shit. So it's comical that that the wires got crossed and she thought
Yeah.
it was redneck. Put that redhead in for her is worse than redneck. I'm not laughing at her for saying that. I find it funny.
I have to tell you that Whitney being like, "And then she called me redneck, and I said, 'People are talking about your facelift.'" So then, of course, I'm, like, zooming in on Lisa Barlow's face. I was like, "Her face does look good."
I was gonna say she does look pretty good. Whoever did it she looks great.
And she looks great. Immediately that I'm like, pause, zoom in.
I think
And
everyone on Salt Lake looks really good though. I mean, I was thinking about it this morning. I was watching them saying Mary Cosby looks better than the 6 years ago she started. I mean, all of them. Angie K. I just
so
want to
good.
like be close to her face. I just want to like adore her.
It is, have you ever met Angie K in real life?
I have not. I have
Okay. So 2 years ago at BravoCon, we had met them, at various events and stuff, but they were in the airport with us in Vegas. They were going to Salt Lake. We were going to DC. And we ended up just like riding the tram with them and sitting in like the Amex lounge with them. And they were great. But Angie K is so tiny. She is like put you in your pocket. Tiny, tiny.
Oh my God, I would have never expected that. She looks like a regular sized person.
No, I'm 5'4", and she's gotta be 5'1". She's like Kyle Richards, tiny.
I cannot, well, I've never met Kyle. Wait, that's crazy to me. You have blown my mind. Would have never expect Angie K to be a tiny person.
Yeah, she's a little bitty, a little pocket person.
I
Just so
love that.
cute,
I love
and
talking to people.
her husband was so nice.
I've
He was
heard
so
he's
nice.
lovely. Everyone says great things about both of them.
They were great. I hope they, don't change, but she does look so good this season. I'm obsessed with that pink dress she's got on where she's sitting and, like, the giant bow is behind
Yeah,
her, and
she
she's
looks
got her
great.
hair pulled back. Yeah, she looks great.
She looks really
Um,
good.
okay, now pivoting to the summer that you've had. Okay.
Yes.
So you launch this like super successful, Instagram, all those celebrities or all the Bravo celebrities in our world are always
Yes.
liking it and commenting on your stuff, and it's hilarious. But then I was kind of scrolling through looking at your stuff to prepare for today. I completely have forgotten that you were like in the Hamptons doing like I'm at the grill with Ramona. Like, how did all that happen?
Instead of the summer I turned pretty, it should be the summer I turned Roni. Basically, what had happened was
Mm-mm.
I was supposed to go to New York to see my best friend Liam and spend a week with him in Lake George. He's got a house in Lake George. So I was going to do that. I was supposed to go in July. Work stuff changed, and I had to end up going in August. Fine. I knew I was going to already be in New York. Ramona had followed me maybe in April
And you were
or
like,
something like
"Oh,"
that.
and you're like, "Oh my god,
And I was
Ramona."
shocked. She wrote me saying, your content's really funny. I love it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
great. Okay. Awesome. That made me really happy because I don't want anyone to feel badly. So that
yeah,
really was great. So we spoke a little bit and then she was like, if you're ever in New York, let me know. And I'm like, okay, great. So awesome. That would be an awesome collab. People would lose their minds over that. So
yeah.
that would be great. Um, So then I told her, I think I'm going to be upstate. I'll let you know. She writes me, okay, let me know. I said, will you be in New York or Manhattan? Will you be in Manhattan or will you be in the Hamptons? She goes, I'm always in the Hamptons, darling, in capital letters. I was like, that's amazing. So I'm like, okay, Ramona, sounds great. So we coordinated. I'm going to go see her. Somehow Jill and Luann, Jill writes me, I was with Ramona last week. I heard, I want to meet you. Let's meet. So I'm like, okay, great. Somehow someone from Luann's team's like, we love your videos. Well, let's work with Luann. So because of that work trip being canceled in July and me having to go in August, it ended up being that I went to Ramona's house Friday morning, was with her for about 4 or 5 hours, met Jill Zarin for bagels the
Yeah.
next day, and then met Luann and spent the whole day with Luann on Saturday.
Stop.
And I couldn't have planned, like, it was true, not serendipity, because I guess, yeah, it was a fortunate accident because my job that I was supposed to do in July was really, the job that I lost was a bummer. It was a lot of money and they ended up canceling the contract. So I was so devastated, but the universe took care of it because then I got this great weekend with the Summer I Turned Roni.
That is crazy. And now I've seen you. So you're not in Miami anymore.
No, I moved from Miami to LA a year and a half ago. So I've been in LA since last April.
Okay. So, but how did it come about that now I see you having drinks with bro and bro?
So
Like, I can't.
yeah, craziness. So when I moved my stuff over from the TikTok to Instagram, I did a compilation video, the Real Housewives Go to White Lotus. So yeah,
Okay.
and that was the one that kind of set me off on Instagram. That got me like 50,000 likes. And I was like, and Instagram, for me, that was at the time,
That's huge.
that was like insane. I was like, so that was really cool. And the cool thing about that one was that I got us a lot of celebrity likes, like, Cecily Strong from SNL liked it,
Love.
Chrissy Teigen. So it was kind of being seen by a lot of people. Marisol comments, love it, do me. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, I just love it, do me. So she's already seen my style now. So, okay, you want me to do you? I'll do you, So I did her. And from there, she just became like such a champion of my work. She
Yes.
immediately DM'd me and was like, you are so talented and good at what you do and funny and not mean-spirited. And she just was such a advocate for I'm an actor. So when someone sees my talent, it's like, thank you, because it's hard out here for actors. I mean, I'm a series,
Yeah.
I had a series regular credit on a show. I was on a show for 40 episodes and I struggle to get big auditions. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what's happening? And then I see people with less credits than me getting better auditions. So I'm like, is it me? Do I have to update my headshots? I'm like updating headshots every 8 months. So point being, Marisol to be like, you're so talented, just felt so affirming to my artist soul. And it was just, I was so grateful to her. One thing led to another. I got invited to the Bravo premiere of the season 7 premiere, or season 6 or whatever it was, of Miami for this season.
Yeah.
And I already had family in Miami. So I said, hell yeah. So I went to Miami to do the thing, see my mom, my sister. And that one thing led to another. And Marisol, Alexi, and I became fast friends.
I am so insanely jealous. It's interesting because I've told this before, but so I have watched all the Housewives, whatever, blah, blah, like everybody else. But I had never watched Miami. And then it was off for all those years. And people are like, you should watch it. I'm like, it's off. Like, who cares? Like, I missed it, whatever. But then when it was coming back, I was like, oh no, do I have to go back? And I was really contemplating because, it's like a commitment.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was, should I do it? Everybody's like, yeah, you got to do it. Then they had the Ultimate Girls Trip with Marisol and Alexia
In
and
Thailand.
Thailand. And I only knew that they were housewives. I didn't know anything about them because that was the one series I'd never watched. And after watching them on Thailand, I was like, who are these magical people? And I like started watching it simultaneously because I loved them so much. I was like, I love the bro. I love the cockies. I love her just not admitting that the reason she can't drink is because like her liver's going out on her. She's like, oh, I don't know. I have a stomach bug. Like, okay, girl. I loved her.
They're like the word you just used right now is exactly right. They're magical, especially in
Yes.
person. Like you can ask anyone that's met them. Alexia will sit and talk to you as if she's known you for 30 years. Marisol's a little bit more reserved, but she's still very friendly. She's more a Capricorn if you are a zodiac person at all. She'll take a second to warm up, but when she does, she's there with you again, like as if she's known you for years. But Alexia really will grab you, sit her next to you, and she's like, there's no pretense with either of them. They're very real people,
Ah,
So
that's so
that's
good to
really,
hear.
yeah. When you meet them, are you in a BravoCon this year?
Of course.
Okay, so then you will meet them and you will love them, and they're so you haven't met them yet.
No, I've never met them. I've never
Okay, so
even seen them in person, unless
okay,
they were at BravoCon 2 years ago or the year and I saw them, but I wasn't into the show at that time. Well, maybe by 2023 I was, but now I'm obsessed, and I'm,
yeah.
like, making it my life's mission. I'm like, "How can I get Marisol and Alexia to be my best friend?" Like,
Oh my God, I love
I
that.
love them so much. I love
Oh,
them
that's
so
so
much.
awesome. They're
How
amazing.
how hilarious was it this season on Miami that Marisol sits down to tell Stephanie, like, "Girl, like, you're a little pretentious, like, I don't like people talking about their money." Meanwhile, she's, like, head to toe Gucci, just
Yeah,
iconic.
exactly. I
She's
was like,
like, I'm wearing a jacket that costs $14,000, but you're very pretentious."
it was a it was a cinematic moment for
It
sure. She was like,
was.
but like there's like a still where she's like just looking at her like the Godfather in her suit, in her Gucci suit. I'm like, this is you can't make this up. Wait,
Yeah,
do you know that I'm doing a show with them next month? Well, not
tell
next
me.
month, next month. Alexia and Marisol are doing a live show at the Improv, and with me. We're doing it together as three.
Where? Where? What town?
Miami. We're doing in Miami at the Miami Improv, October 22nd. It is fabulous. It's going to be Alexia, Marisol, and Miguel for 90 minutes.
Oh my gosh, now I wanna go to Miami.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
what better
mean,
time to come to Miami than late October? It's not that hot anymore.
I know,
Come,
and get a little pre-BravoCon tan.
yeah, exactly. But it'll be
Yeah.
really fun. And we had a Zoom call yesterday, and we were talking about all the things. I mean, it's crazy for me to even say that out loud to you right now. Like we had a Zoom call, but like talking about it, and they're really open to my ideas, and again, very supportive of my work. And it feels good to be able to bring that to a table and to collaborate, because that's just the weird thing about content collaboration. And you probably know as a product, well, you get to interview people, so it doesn't feel that lonely.
Yeah.
But I do all my work alone. And I'm okay
Yeah.
with it because I'm used to it. So it's not like I want to start doing sketches with other people. I already have my system that works for me. But I am used to doing plays. I'm used to being on set with
Mm.
people and running lines. So it felt nice to be like, what do you think about this idea? And what do you think about that? And they were like, yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. So
And do you go, every day to your acting job as a teacher? Do you do that every single day, or is that, like, you're doing that now part-time because of this whole thing has taken off?
I teach every Saturday at the studio all day long from 10 to
Okay.
5:30. Yeah. And then other days I coach randomly. Like I'll have a coaching today for an hour, tomorrow 2 or 3 hours, depending on there's days where I coach oddly enough 6 hours just because auditions came up. But my schedule's become pretty flexible. And I'm really trying to dedicate a lot of time to this because I want
Yeah,
to get back to being a series regular, a lead on a TV show. And I'm like, nowadays the name of the game is to really have a strong social media presence so that
I know.
people feel comfortable casting you, knowing you're bringing an audience.
Yes, that's exactly right. Now, you mentioned that you were on a show before on Nickelodeon. What was
It
it?
was called Talia in the Kitchen. It was literally 10 years ago, if you can believe that.
Talia in the Kitchen. Okay. I was just trying to think because, my kids would have
Yeah.
been 12 and, 10 at the time, but I think that sounds like probably not their jam. They were probably into Hannah Montana by
Something
then.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you're gonna die at this, Mary. This is the first time I just made this connection. When I was doing that show, once you book a show on a role on a comedy show, especially, they tend to write the role to your strengths.
Okay.
They tend
Uh-huh.
to sort of go, well, we know you're really good at this. So they gave me, I'm a singer as well. So they gave me moments where I would sing a little bit, things like that. So there was an episode. Oh my God, I can't believe I just remembered this. There was an episode where my character, Frenchie, the evil chef, yeah, the evil, like overly flamboyant chef. He talks about the real hot wives or the real fab wives of Dallas. And they created like a housewife show that my character watched because that's how much they knew I used to watch the housewives.
Stop. That's crazy.
So it's like on television, on national watch, the international television, my character said, oh my gosh, because in the last episode, Crystal told Gabby that whatever. So the housewife connection has been there for many, many years
That is
on that Nickelodeon show.
isn't that weird how that it all just, like, comes back around?
Yeah, it does.
It always comes back to housewives, doesn't it?
Listen, for me, it does. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of the time the Marisol, like, I mean, it all roads lead back to Bravo. In particular, Miami, Salt Lake, and OG Roni. Those are my three jams.
We had a conversation recently on the show about things that, like, you say in your house with your family or your friend group that, like, other people probably wouldn't think is funny, but you just think it's hilarious, and we were talking about, I do a lot of quoting of the movie She's Having a Baby. It's a very funny movie. So
Okay.
quote that movie a lot, or just like my husband, like, will say stupid stuff from Major League. I'm like, nobody knows what you're talking about. But we were talking about like things in your family that are like catchphrases that other people
Yeah.
wouldn't get. And my family, they all say this and they don't know what it means, but you'll know what it means. We say all the time, "Is it too windy for a beach walk?" It's
Wait,
Dorit.
I don't know where Mike, I actually don't know that line. I'm
Okay.
ashamed of myself. Where is that from?
Okay, so Dorit says it to Eileen Davidson. They meet at the pier and they're supposed to like walk on the beach to talk about whatever is the Yolanda has Munchausen or whatever they're talking
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
right? It's so long ago. It's Dorit and Eileen Davidson. And as they walk up, they're holding their hats and everything because it's super windy. And Dorit yells at Eileen Davidson, "Do you think it's too windy for a beach walk?" And she's
that
like,
is
"Yeah, I
so
think so."
funny.
And it's like in some sort of like Scottish accent, like some unknown.
Yeah,
It
some hybrid
doesn't it
something.
doesn't matter what accent you use, anything works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's a
but so
catch-all.
when we go to the beach, if it's super busy, somebody in my family goes, "It's too windy for a beach walk." I mean,
That's so good. I'm obsessed with that. I'm gonna start saying that. Is it too windy for a beach walk?
yes.
I think my equivalent of "Is it too windy for a beach walk?" I mean, I've got like 7 or 8 on repeat. The big one that I say pretty much every day is I can't," which is Ramona on the Sprinter van going to Atlantic City. When Heather
Or that's Ramona anytime, really.
Yeah, exactly. But Heather was upset that Sonia Morgan didn't let her inside or past the foyer of her townhome, and it was
Right.
raining and it was cold, and they were fighting like cats and dogs. And Ramona goes, I can't." I say that once a day. My friends and I say it once a day. I can't. What else?
How about you don't support other women, okay?
Yeah, that's a really good one. That is a
Yeah.
really good Ramona one. And the audacity.
Audacity. Mhm.
Audacity. I find
Reggae.
myself
The reggae
slipping
music.
into
Mhm.
reggae. I
Mhm.
find myself slipping into 3 people the most. Like just in my like if we were joking, even with people that don't understand it. I do my Marisol like 40 times a day. Just I can't help it. Like something will make me we'll be talking about, oh, you want to eat at that restaurant? I don't know, bro. That restaurant sometimes it gets a little packed. And I just get into the Marisol and I can't help it. The other one is Meredith.
Yeah.
When I'm teaching my students, I teach adults, kids, and teens. So when I teach the kids, I find it funny to talk to them like Meredith, and they laugh and they have no idea who I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, quite frankly, if you had been memorized for your scene, we wouldn't be in this situation. And they're like, okay. I'm like, they're just laughing at me. They have no idea what I'm doing. And my assistant, like, if you only knew, kids, that he's doing the great Meredith Marks. So I do Meredith and Marisol the most. And of course, Alexia, because at the end of the day, you have to be real and you have to be who you are. And, bro, it's like we're super intense. So we have to be who we are. And that's,
I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay. Now, let's talk about Lisa Barlow. Okay.
yeah, the Barlow of it all.
So Lisa Barlow, she does, as Heather and Angie said this week, she does try to aggrandize everything. I don't know if you saw her. I literally just sort of watched it as I was getting ready for bed last night. I didn't pay close attention, but Andy was doing a game with her, like, does Lisa know them? And was listing famous people to see if she would claim that she knew them, which
Yeah,
is hilarious.
that's genius.
And he said, "Do you know any members of any boy band?" Like, that's a wide swath.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She goes into this whole thing about, "Yeah, because I was, in the front row at the Backstreet Boys, and they were, like, looking at me," and he goes, "No, no, no, not the front row and somebody looked at you. Like, do you know them? Have you met them? Have you been to a party with them?" And she was like, "Well, I mean, we were there in the VIP section." And Andy's like, "No, no.
It doesn't count, girl.
Everybody's been looked at in the eye by a boy bander. Now come on."
I mean,
God, so
even if you're
funny.
Shakira, she's at some point is gonna look out into the audience like, ole, ole,
Yeah.
ole, like she's gonna see you, right? Like she's gonna look. I think Lisa Barlow's illusions of grandeur make for great television. I have to say though, it's starting to wear.
I don't
I
like what she said to Heather. Like, "My life is so different
oh,
than you
I was
guys. Like, you don't even understand." Yeah.
yeah, it didn't it's starting to border on not entertaining.
Mhm.
For me personally, like I was into the Lisa Barlowness of it all for a long time. Actually, I'm going to be a grudge holder here, and fortunately, I've worked really hard to not be a grudge holder. But
Okay.
as Team Meredith as I am, I can, because of how Team Meredith I am, I can get past the hot mic moment.
Okay.
And
Because
Meredith and I had
it
lunch.
was so good. It was so good.
It was great television, but I couldn't, I mean, Meredith and I had lunch when she was here for the Culturistas Award, and it
Okay.
was so magical, and she could not have been warmer and more delicious and more fabulous. We spoke very little housewives. We really talked about our families and our lives and just other things like that. But the one housewife thing I did say was, How could you get past that?
Yeah.
I could never. I'm one of those people, Mary, that if your friend does you wrong, I'm never talking to your friend again. I'll
Yep.
forgive them in my head, but we're not cool. I forgive you. We all mess up, but we're not. I'm very Latin mom that way. When you tell a Latin mom that your friend did something wrong to you, that Latin mom is never going to forgive them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I can't with Lisa Barlow after that hot mic moment. It was so insane that
It
for
was
me,
terrible. It was
yeah, it,
terrible.
it sort of changed everything for me with Lisa. I know that sounds so dramatic, but like it just showed me a little peek into like, I'm just not a fan of people that when they get mad at you, they start revealing, like, you really reveal who you are when you're upset with someone.
Yeah, and it's the "I'm better than you" is really bothering
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
starting
bothering
to
me.
wear a little bit. So but I wanted Heather to really. Heather's been trying to kiss the ring for so many years.
Mhm.
And the comical thing about the Salt Lake City cast, not all of them, but a good amount of them, they're all pretty insecure.
Mm.
Like they all want to be someone.
Mhm.
The thing I like about Bronwyn is that Bronwyn is that transparent. She says, I want my mom's approval. I want my
Yeah.
mom's when she lied about the jewelry. That's why I'm Team Bronwyn almost on any occasion. She said, I lied. I was immature and I wanted to look cool. Like, how refreshing is it to see someone of Bronwyn's stature and status to be like, I was immature and I lied because I wanted
Yeah.
to look
And
cool.
just
Like
the end. Just the
that.
end. That's it. Just
The
admit it.
conversation dies there when you own it. To quote the prophet Lisa Rinna, own it, baby.
That's
She
right.
owned it, right? And it's like for Bronwyn, how can you not love her after that? So with Heather, it's like Heather's having some natural moments of insecurity with Barlow and has had them since the beginning of time. But she's like not like I want her to come on, girl. Like, don't let her get away with that shit. I'm such a
I
fighter in Aries. I would be great on a reality show because everything gets me impassioned. But I'm like, don't let her say that. Like, it drives me nuts. Yeah,
see, I
it's
would be terrible on a reality show because 'cause I'm a Libra, and I'm just like,
oh, okay.
"Everything's
So you're the
fine.
polar opposite. Yeah, yeah. You're like, it's fine. No,
Everything's
I'm like,
fine."
I'll fight someone else's fight. I'm like, bring it on. That's why I could never do a reality show because I will just, yeah. So Barlow is starting to wear.
Starting to start yeah, it's starting to we're gonna need a redemption episode, a redemption season next year. I do love Mary's full I love Mary's full participation this season. She was in it last season, but now she's in there, she's like, "Wow, this is gonna get messy," or she's, like, participating in that table conversation where she's like, "No, Lisa, you did do this," and I'm like, "Oh," she left us for a while, but now she's back. I love
Yes,
it.
I'm thrilled. And it's funny, I think I saw a tweet. I wish I could credit the tweeter, but they said if you haven't seen Mary from her inception, you will not be as mind blown as the rest of us who have been seeing her from the beginning, not be involved, not give a shit, to now being fully involved. She was on Dorinda's radio show. Like
Wow.
her and Dorinda having an interview was so like it's not mind boggling to watch Housewives from other cities interact, but Mary Cosby on Dorinda's podcast was next level. Oh, by the way, you have to watch it because there's a moment where Mary Cosby almost pulls a Mary Cosby and decides not to. And I'll tell you the moment.
Okay.
Dorinda's like saying, who do you think on your cast has changed the most or the whatever, or had the biggest change or something? And Mary Cosby says, I know who you're going to say, Bronwyn. And Mary Cosby says, I already said to Bronwyn, not everyone's going to like you and you have to be okay with that. Like people
Mhm.
are not going to like you. And then she tells Dorinda, you should know Adam more than anyone. And then you see she's got her glasses, but I could see that she was about to do like to go, I mean, girl, you should know more than anyone. But she does say it. She does say, you out of all people should know. And if you would have given Mary just 2 more seconds of unfiltered, she would have been like, because you're crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna like you. And I was like, oh my God, Mary is such a gift.
Oh my god. The funniest thing was when she was on Watch What Happens Live when she came back a couple of seasons ago and Andy goes, "So, people are wondering like why you decided to come back." And she goes, "I mean, you called me and said you needed me, so duh."
It's amazing.
So she's not like, "I just decided it was so fun and I missed the good ladies," whatever. She's like, "You guys wanted me to be back, so show's boring without me."
And I came,
Um, okay, now let's see. Okay, now I'm gonna throw some impressions at you. Okay.
okay,
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Now, I live here in the DC area, unfortunately.
Okay.
And yesterday there was a big meeting of all the generals. Okay. I don't know anything about it because I don't follow the news because I don't want to know. Okay. I
Yeah,
like to stick my head in the sand and wait for it to be over.
same.
And that's how I deal. And it's the Libra in me. Like I said,
Yeah,
I don't want to, I
not
don't
gonna
want to,
let
I
you
don't,
go.
I don't want to know anything. But there was this big meeting of the generals yesterday, and apparently all the generals got together, and the Secretary of Defense or somebody got up and like told them all they were like fat and lazy. All the generals. So
Okay.
how would Mary Cosby handle the meeting of all the generals in the United States and tell them
Was she
how they
calling them
should fix
fat and lazy, or
themselves?
was she called fat and lazy, or is she calling
No,
them fat and lazy?
she's telling them how to do their job.
Okay. None of you are doing what you need to do. You have jobs. Your jobs have tasks and things, and none of y'all need to get it together. Because y'all, I don't want to say words and names, but looking a little lazy. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah. You have an entire district that you're taking care of and you're not doing your job. That's like that doesn't make no sense. Little girl. People are counting on you. It's a
It's
political yeah, but I think that was close enough, right?
well, again, I didn't even watch it, but I was like,
Okay.
I just it was such like a joke. Everybody was saying that they got all these generals together and had them leave their post basically to tell them you're fat slobs and you're not like tucking your shirt in
Oh
properly.
my
Like,
God. Keep
yeah,
doing
yeah, important.
That's amazing. Oh wait, I think I saw something like the guy was like, the guy told him that he can't have beards.
Something, just
Something like
something
that.
so stupid. Now, here's another one for you. Lisa Rinna talks about Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl halftime show.
I think it's great. Listen, I love a guy who can dance, okay? And I think it's great. He's going to have some great costumes, not couture. It's not going to be couture, but he's going to do great. And you know what? I could be a backup dancer. My videos do very well. I mean, even Harry Hamlin will say it. Even Harry Hamlin will tell you, I can dance for Bad Bunny. I could be Sexy Bunny. I could be Couture Bunny. What do we think about Couture Bunny?
I love Lisa Rinna.
Runway Bunny. She could be Runway Bunny.
Oh my God. And my daughters. Okay, now
They're killing it.
they're doing great. Now,
Jesus.
there was this documentary that just came out, and I'm doing a recap with my friend Krista Rosa. I don't know if you know Krista Rosa. He's a Housewives producer, and it's like when you're talking about watching actors and stuff, and you can see everything. Since he's a reality TV producer, I get
Mhm.
he comes on and talks about other shows. He can't talk about Housewives, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's interesting when he talks about reality shows or documentaries because from his background, he's looking and he's like, I don't know why they did that shot this way or who at TLC greenlit this project. You know, he's very interesting. So he's coming on and it'll be out next week to talk to me about this documentary that came out on Netflix called The Rebel Royals. And it's about the Princess of Norway marries this shaman who's a complete, like, was selling a medallion during COVID to ward off the spirit, like a complete shyster. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But what's interesting about the documentary, in addition to it's just the layers of he's like an admitted gay man. He's marrying this woman and he's had all these lives and he's just a complete liar. And then he's got the Princess of Norway, like the whitest family in the world, and he's black. And it's just like fascinating. Okay.
Okay.
So
And it's already out?
it's called
Okay.
Rebel Royals.
Okay.
But the reason I'd heard this story before about this Princess of Norway and this guy was because I heard Cynthia Bailey somewhere on a radio show saying she attended this wedding in Norway. And whoever it was like, why? And she goes, oh, this guy, this shaman, blah, blah, blah. I knew him from the shaman world. I don't know, the spiritual world.
She's
This
very
was
well
like a
versed in the shaman
yeah,
world.
yeah. This guy was like a club kid model actor, and then that didn't work. So he pivoted. Says he's a sixth generation shaman, but like his dad was an architect. So makes no sense. Anyways, just he's like a total liar. It's fascinating. But when they're showing all the wedding stuff, you see Cynthia Bailey in the documentary. And who do you think was front row for every single event at this wedding of our housewives?
Sonia Morgan?
Sonia Morgan.
I would just the word shaman made me think it has to be her. Wow. And how does she look in it?
Drunk,
Okay.
real drunk, just like in the
Yeah.
front row of every single event. So I said to Krista Rosa, who knows Sonia from working on New York, I was like, we were doing the documentary, and I said, you know, Sonia was there. He's like, I'm texting her right now. You have got to be kidding me. And I was like, do you think they got paid to go? Because this guy was like a D-list influencer, and they said he, you know, paid for his Instagram followers and all this stuff. And he was like, well, she definitely went if she got paid. You know, I don't know. how she and Cynthia are just like heading off to Norway for a 4-day wedding.
Yeah. I mean, Cynthia stays booked and busy.
She
Cynthia's
does.
always getting a check. So
Mhm.
she's, and I mean that in a good way. Like she's always
Yes.
working. Sonia famously doesn't go anywhere unless she's getting paid.
Right.
Like that was the whole joke between the Ultimate Girls trip, that they wouldn't be on that trip with Sonia unless she was getting paid for it.
Yeah,
So it makes
absolutely.
sense that Sonia would go to Norway if she's getting paid for it. Like that makes the most sense to me out of any
Yes.
other reality of any universe.
Like, how else would she know the Princess of Norway?
Mm.
So this leads me to the impression I would like for you to
Yes.
do. I would want you to be Sonia Morgan telling us about her friendship with the Princess of Norway, Marta.
Oh God. Well, I mean, we used to party with John, and Madonna. I mean, I knew her in the 90s. I knew everyone in the 90s. I knew the Princess of Norway. I knew the Son of Wales. I mean, I knew everyone. So you know what? His shaman introduced me to my shaman, then he introduced me to Kyoko, which is my facialist. And you know, of course, I found out from Kyoko that the Princess of Norway was getting engaged. And I called her. I said, girlfriend, I didn't even know you were getting married. One thing leads to another. I took my friend's boyfriend. We went to the wedding. But then we got into a fight beforehand. So I started hooking up with the other shaman's brother. I love a good shaman. What can I say? I love a shaman.
So crazy. This guy is such a crazy liar. You got to watch it.
I love it.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Rebel Royals.
okay. Now here's another one that I think you're really going to like.
Okay.
Dorit Kemsley at an Al-Anon meeting.
Ah, my name is Dorit, but you already know that. And I am dealing with someone who has a lot of issues. I have some issues, mainly because of the person who has a lot of issues. I'm doing absolutely my very best to get through this. I've got my new bikini line coming back. I've got my new memoir, Unburdened, and I brought you all a discount code so that you can pre-order. I know that all of you are going through very tough times. And what better than Unburdened by Dorit Kemsley to read by your bedside? And if you're taking a walk on a windy beach, it may not be the best idea to read that book, but there is an audio book that you can listen to on your beach walk. And if you're Kyle, you probably won't read it because I don't have any good friends anymore like Kyle. She used to be a good friend, and that's why I'm here for support. The idea of giving everyone an Al-Anon a copy of her 20% off of her book is amazing.
Yeah, not a free one, just a 20% off.
Hey, she's a working mom now.
You
It's
gotta,
hard for the money.
now another scenario I came up with, speaking of BravoCon, was 2 years ago they gave Vicki Gunvalson the first ever Lifetime Achievement Award.
Amazing.
So this year is going to Candy. I would like for you to do Vicki pitching herself that she should be getting it every year.
Okay, I haven't done a Vicki yet, so I have to.
Oh.
I was on Vicki's podcast last week.
Yes,
And,
with Christian.
Yeah, with Christian.
Yeah.
In person, which was amazing. And I met Vicki, and she was wonderful. She could not have been nicer and warmer and a hugger, and she was great. And I told her I haven't impersonated her. The one thing that I got from Vicki, and I still haven't even perfected it yet, is that when she's talking to you, she'll get like a thought will come in that will excite her, and then she'll start to go down, look down. So, like, have you noticed that? Where she'll be like, "You need to," and again, I haven't impersonated her. But she'll say something like, "You need to have God in your life, because if you don't have God, you're going to go to hell." And she sort of like mutters to herself down, and her eyes get big. So that's as much Vicki as I have right now. But
that is so good. That is so right. Yeah, that's so right. It's like, I just wanted a casserole. I don't know, when am I giving me a casserole?
My casserole, why can't you give me a casserole? Yeah, exactly.
When you get your Vicki, you got to incorporate the
oh my God. And my favorite thing that I do is the falling asleep during a story. I do that. Yeah, I do that. And also, I mean, I have to give Bethany credit too, because Bethany did it that episode where Heather was like, Kristen's really hurt that you didn't invite her to your party. Okay, wake me up when this is over. That was great.
Okay, so speaking of Bethany, Bethany goes to Panera.
Yeah.
And she tries their chicken salad.
The chicken salad is sick. It's, you know what? For a franchise, it's really good. But you know what? I'm going to do you one even better. I'm going to do a collaboration with you, and I'm going to own Panera Bread. It's going to be called Bethany Bread. It's insane. It's going to be sick. Okay. It's going to be called, instead of broccoli and cheese, Bethany and cheese. Sick. Rebranding it, making it mine. You're going to see revenue's going to go up. It's going to be insane.
I fucking love Bethany.
Let me
Nobody can talk me off that ledge. Nobody can put me off Bethany. I don't care what I really don't care what she does.
Yeah, I'm a
She's
big
so
Bethany fan.
funny.
Bethany is, in my opinion, the wittiest housewife of all time
She's
in
so
terms of
quick.
wit. Like
Yeah.
she may not be like, I mean, Nene is probably behaviorally the most funny. Like
Yes.
just her beingness. Like Bethany
Yes.
walking in a store isn't funny. Nene walking into a store is funny. Nene looking at items on the shelf is funny. Nene comparing cheese can
True.
be
Yeah, true.
Bethany's not funny comparing cheese. Bethany is funny with people. And I think that's what really why I think Bethany's television success didn't work as well after the Housewives, because I think she really shines in an ensemble. You
Hmm.
know,
Mhm. Mhm.
someone on a tweet said this years ago. It's not my personal idea, but Bethany seems particularly normal around the houses of New York. So she's this really great voice of reason and really comical in that voice of reason. But when you take her out of chaos, she's the chaos. She's still chaotic with the ladies, but when you just put her in her own world, she looks like the crazy one. Whereas
That's
with New York,
yeah.
Ramona's the
Yeah.
crazy one. Luann is delusional. Sonia's out of her mind. Dorinda's got all these things. And Bethany's the one who doesn't really get that fucked up, doesn't get that drunk,
Yeah.
doesn't really, so she was kind of the funny, she was still a lot, but she was an intense voice of reason, Greek chorus, but by herself, she's running up to people in public and yelling at them and can I try this at the store? Then she's the crazy one.
That's such a good point. I am on her, I subscribe to her, just not like a paid thing, but like you could
Yeah.
subscribe to the Instagram thing where she tells you things to buy,
Uh-huh.
and it is unhinged. It is 30 recommendations a day. I don't know how she has the time or the space in her house, but it is like called Nosy Bees. And it's like,
The Nose Bees,
you nosy bees wanted to know, da, da, da. And I'm like, did somebody ask you about your air fryer?
you
Because,
know,
okay.
yeah, I've had that thought. I'm like, is like an intern being like,
Yeah.
hey, writing it and then copying and paste. But she does have so many followers and people do write her shit all the time. So I actually do believe that she's probably fulfilling a demand. She sent me
Oh,
a
yeah.
sweater. Bethany
She's
sent
such
me a sweater.
what kind of a sweater?
I was doing my chicken salad video. Let me tell you something. My first Bethany video, which by the way was the worst impersonation of her I did. Like my impersonation of Bethany got so much better after the one that went viral, oddly enough. So I hate that it still circulates because I'm like, guys, no, it's gone better. But it was one night I was already eating tuna salad. So I was like, oh my God, let me just do this and whatever, who cares? And I posted at 10 o'clock at night, not thinking anything was going to happen. That one video paid for my trip to Italy. Let me tell you.
Nice. Nice.
Swear to
Yes.
God. But it was my worst impersonation. So I did Bethany videos for a while. Homegirl sent me a sweater that says I love chicken salad.
I
Yes.
want one. I
I
love
know. I just
that.
did my merch line and she sent me a card that says thanks for being a nosy bee.
I
It's very cute.
I love it. Okay. All right. Well, maybe
But Bethany's
Bethany
got a good sense of humor.
she's I God, she's funny. She's so
Yeah.
funny. Okay, so let me see. I've got all this whole I'm not gonna make you do this giant list of things. I literally came up with these like an hour ago. This would be funny. This would be funny. This would be. How about Bethany um trying to convince producers to let her onto the Love Hotel?
Oh my God, that's good. Okay. Wait. Okay. Yes. 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 Oh my God. I just seeing Bethany in a position of pleading is throwing me off. So I have to find the.
Okay.
No,
How
no, no. I
about
like
just
a challenge. I like a challenge.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like a
yeah.
challenge. I'm gonna do this. It's a different part of her brain that I'd have to access. So I'm like, oh,
She's trying
okay.
to pitch herself.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a different Bethany than I normally do then. Okay. You guys aren't seeing the vision yet. Trust me on this. Okay. I land in a private jet. The doors open. I've got sick Louboutin heels. That's the first shot. Louboutin heels. And at the bottom of the heel, it says B. And the heel, it's a B, right? Like Devorah's Pride, it's a B. And then the shot pulls out and it's me and Bryn in the back. And Bryn's actually gonna be the one helping me. So we're gonna make it a mother and daughter duo. And she's gonna weed out the weak ones. So now it's not just like a typical cheap dating show. It's a family show where I put my daughter first and she chooses who the man's going to be because it's all about family now. See? So now I've taken away the sensationalism. It's not like a horror show. It's actually a family love show. It's going to be insane. And then we're going to partner with a Mother's Day campaign. And then we're going to do the Gilmore Girls reboot. And I'm going to make my acting debut. It's going to be insane. It's going to be sick.
Gilmore Girls reboot. Just throw that in.
Yeah,
Just
listen,
throw it.
Bethany, she makes money, honey. It's always about making money.
Oh my Lord,
Hey,
that
are
is
you
so
watching
funny.
OC?
Yeah, of course.
What are your thoughts on the OC-ness of it all?
Well, I was gonna ask you, but first of all, I was gonna ask you, like, the joke that another joke that we say all the time is, "Where are the children?" And that's Nancy Grace. But where is Katie?
I'm so annoyed at this whole thing.
Where's
I
Katie? Can
they
she
gotta
just come
bring her.
back and defend herself? Like,
What? It's like, has that ever happened in Housewife history where someone gets banished halfway through the season?
she's just gone. She's just gone.
Well, I
No
think
mention.
I think this fell flat for the whole cast,
Yes,
with the exception of Tamara, because Tamara understands the assignment, and Tamara would have
always.
kept her there and fought with her. Exactly. So she would have fought with her if she needed to, even though they're fine now. Tamara and Katie are good. And I suspect the next season, Tamara and Katie are actually going to be allies and really good friends because
Yep.
they've kind of now have they've worked out the kinks and they've realized, okay, I see you, you see me, we see each other. We good. Candy.
Mhm.
So I think they need a reboot.
Like a scrape it down and
Not
start
a reboot.
over?
Let me take that back. A shakeup. I think they need to keep. I'm personally okay with this being Shannon's last season. I like Shannon. I
Mhm.
don't think she likes the show anymore. She doesn't want to be there. She looks exhausted. She,
Yes.
she looks like, why the fuck am I here? I hate all of you. It's not fun when someone doesn't want to engage. And I think that
Yes.
was some people's gripe with Mary Cosby for a while. Like
Right.
I never had that gripe. I loved her no matter what. But some people were like, girl, you don't want to be here, so it's not working. So with Shannon, it's like you don't want to be here. You hate everyone. You don't look
Yeah.
particularly happy. And if you
Yeah.
weren't happy, we'd want to know more about what or why or where is this coming from. So I'd say keep Shannon or whatever. I don't need her, but I understand if you do keep her. I'm sure that she could revitalize. Bring Vicky back. Keep Tamra. Bring Joe back. Let's see what happens with Joe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I it's time for Vicky to come back. Like, enough
Yeah.
of
You
this.
gotta stop playing
Enough.
games.
Let's
Enough.
get back. Let's get her back. We need her.
I gotta bring her back to the show. So bring her back to the show and bring Katie back, obviously full time. I unfortunately would shelf Gina and Emily, put them on pause.
We've been saying it for 5 years and no one's listened and they're still there. And enjoy I do enjoy Gina. I do.
To be honest, I don't not enjoy either of them. I just don't. To me, it's like they're on a different show. Like they're not this show. I would almost like Emily doing the wife swap is great to me because I do
Uh-huh.
like her as a reality TV personality. I don't
Okay.
dislike her on TV. And I don't think either of them are unlikable, but I think the way that they've been maneuvering the housewife world or the housewife of OC world with the current cast just hasn't landed for me. And again, I don't find them unlikable. I think they're doing their jobs. It's not clicking. There's a disconnect for me. So keep
Yeah.
Emily in the Bravo world, find something for them to do. I don't know if it's this. So I'd
Yeah.
say Tamara, Katie, Joe, Vicky, Shannon, and maybe bring in 2 new girls.
Do
Have
you
to be.
have thoughts you have thoughts on what's happening in New Jersey? Like, speaking of where are the children?
I mean, where are the
Where
children?
where is New
I
Jersey?
I fell out of New Jersey a while ago. I like Teresa a lot on TV. I enjoy
Mhm.
watching her. She always entertains me, and for some reason, her she's maybe not a very versatile performer,
Mhm.
but I'm somehow aware that New Jersey is Teresa, and like I'm okay with that. Like to me, she's the matriarch of the group,
Yeah.
not talking about age, but talking about like I'm in charge here. Um, so I don't want a reality without her. I don't know if there's
Ooh.
a reality where they can coexist. They've all gotten so stubborn. Now
Yeah.
Teresa's saying that she would film with Melissa. I would be curious to see them try because now they've realized what it's like to not get a year's worth of salary.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I think that they would be more inclined, but these girls get very comfortable. I think the same with Shannon. Put Shannon on pause for a year. Let her feel the difference of not having $650,000 or whatever it is she makes a year. And I am sure she will be a little bit more happy the next season and more engaged. I am positive because they get used to that check. In life, we get used to good things. We just do.
I think
So
that's right. I think it worked for Tamara. I think
yeah,
she came back and now she's firing on all cylinders, you know?
yeah, and I think and again, everyone's saying Tamara hasn't changed. I've said this on every podcast I've gone on because no one's listening. Tamara has changed because Tamara is not going nearly as hard as she would have. Tamara,
And she's
when
not nearly as drunk all the time.
she's not nearly as drunk. She had that one episode where she got
Yeah.
like obviously there was a mistake. She
It
didn't
was a
mean to.
pill issue. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
she probably wanted to calm down and have a drink, and I don't drink anymore, and I've never done pills, so I don't even know what that's like. But point being, Tamara's going light on all those girls. She could have I mean, Tamra produced banger of an episode consecutively each of her seasons. This season, you can see her withholding. So I'm like, give Tamra more formidable opponents. And I think maybe we won't have to have her carry most of the conflict and chaos.
What was interesting about that, and my husband is 11 years sober. So, I know what I speak of
Yeah.
Al Anon and all these things. And so it's interesting to me, the thing with Shannon, and obviously she has a very complicated relationship with alcohol. She can't not drink on screen. You know what I mean? Like, even
Yeah.
though she's had all this, to me, it's interesting that this week or the last episode we saw where Tamara was actually trying to connect with her and said, like, it's interesting because like you said your father when you were growing up had a drinking problem, and that made her so mad. She's like, oh, he's 90 something years old. And she was like, well, okay, I was actually trying to connect with you about the issues you've had and how do you feel about with your father. And she was trying to connect with her, and Shannon getting so mad. And then every scene we've saw, it seems like the producers were showing us Shannon is bored. She's looking like,
Don't want to
and
be
while
there.
other people are engaging and talking. So yeah, I think we could use a little break from Shannon.
Yeah.
I
And the
think
whole sobriety line is very interesting. I'm sober. I'll be 2 years, God willing, 2 years sober in December. Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. So I find it really interesting when I watch the storylines about sobriety because, like, with Shannon doesn't claim to be sober,
No.
right?
Mm-mm.
Shannon never claimed to go to rehab. She said that she went to a health center to do whatever she's got to do. I
Yeah.
am the most easygoing, like, sober person. I don't have opinions. I don't care. I
Yeah.
am very much of the mindset of like, my journey is mine. I very rarely talk about it. This might be the first podcast I've even said I'm sober. And I think the only reason I did it was because you mentioned your husband.
Yeah.
So I'm very much of the thing of like, who cares? Like, it's my
Yeah.
life and
Yeah.
whatever.
It's your own thing. Yeah.
It's her own journey, literally. And with Shannon, it's been so interesting because Shannon, it's hard to tell where Shannon is at because she's so disengaged from the group. I don't know if she's disengaged from her life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is this I'm curious, right? So is it like, is she drinking? Like, kind of like, is she really rocking and rolling? And that's why she's showing up to sell like she doesn't care because she's maybe hungover? Is she
Mm.
not hungover and maybe she just doesn't want to be there? Like, Shannon's leaving me with a lot of questions, which isn't always fun as a housewife audience. Like, I don't love too many questions that aren't going to be answered. I
Yeah.
like feeling like there's a result. That's why I'm obsessed with Bronwyn. Bronwyn is just being honest about everything. I mean, her scene with her mom, I was like, Bronwyn is
Yeah.
feeding us.
I was like, okay, now I feel bad for Brahman. This shit's tough. Now, I do
Yeah.
think what's going to like come out or not come out because it's under seal or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I do think she had like a whole situation with like forgery and identity theft and all that. And, we always say, like, why would you go on a reality show if you've got that in your
Yeah.
background that people can bring out? But even when Andy asked her about it and Watch What Happens Live, again, it was on in the background. I didn't fully pay attention, but she was like, yeah, it's going to get brought up and we're going to talk about it as much as I can legally. And sure, I've never not said it, like, just didn't bring it up, and I think, yeah, Bronwyn.
I mean, Bronwyn's gonna say it and she's gonna be as honest as she can. And I
Yeah.
think Bronwyn's of the mentality of like, once you talk about it, it's over. It's when you choose to not talk about it that it lives on and on and on. Like, Shannon didn't do herself any, obviously Shannon was triggered by Tamara, but in that moment, had she just ignored what Tamara said, it would have never even been, for all we know, that scene might have been cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Good
may not have
point.
even, yeah, it may not have even made the fucking past the cutting room floor. But she could have just taken a moment and continued her story and said, right, Tamara. But she gave
Yeah.
Tamara another storyline thinking that it was gonna, I don't know. I don't mean, maybe Shannon wasn't calculating, but that was just her real honest reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the Shannonness of it all and so ADHD. The Bronwyn thing, I'm excited to see that, but I'm sure she's gonna talk about it. So who
Yeah.
cares? The Shannon and Tamara and her connecting with that, I get it. Shamra's been burnt by this person one too many times. And, in therapy, we learn that we create stories about people in our heads and we end
Mhm.
up looking for evidence to justify it. So Shannon has a story about Tamara in her head. So no matter what Tamara does, she's going to be looking for evidence to justify that. So Tamara can do no right at this point by Shannon. So,
Yeah.
it does, I would like to believe that Tamara really just meant it as like we're talking and
I was just trying to like relate something to you that, hey, you mentioned about your dad when you were younger, and I wonder if that plays into how your relationship with alcohol is now. Or and like you said, she could have easily been like, huh, I never thought about that. But my dad's old. I don't want to talk about that. And just kept going.
yes,
But just to be like,
yeah,
and just like fling herself off, and Gina's got to fling herself on the floor and all this. I was like, oh my God. Um,
yeah.
okay, let me see. I'm gonna throw one more impression at you, and then I'm gonna let you go. Um, Gosh, I've got so many good ones. All right, I'll give you a choice. I got 2 choices here. We've got
Okay.
Marisol as a college advisor at a high school,
Love
or
it.
Bethany, talks about why she lives in Florida now. Or
Okay, I'm
you
gonna
can
do
do both.
Marisol because Marisol, we haven't done a Marisol yet, and she makes me laugh.
I love
Um,
her.
I mean, look, Jessica, I'm gonna tell you one thing. College is not for everyone. I do, as a college advisor, I'm gonna tell you, you got to go to college because it's what I'm here to do. But you know what, bro? It's your life. I went to college. I'm a prep kid. I mean, I went to boarding school. I mean, I'm an institution kid, but you got to do what you got to do. And you know what? Look, bro didn't go to college, and bro did go to college. She's a teacher, but it's life is college. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to do what you're gonna do. I don't know. Don't look at me, but I will tell you. You get a degree. It's gonna help you later. Easier to get a job.
I I love Marisol. I do hope I get to meet her at BravoCon.
You
I
will. I
really
will
do.
manifest
Thank you for manifesting that for me. Oh my gosh.
master
Now,
manifest.
now you're going to be at BravoCon. Now, do you have any official role at BravoCon, or are you just going to be there walking around being amazing?
So I have one thing. I don't know. I don't have like a role. I will just be walking around enjoying. But I do know that there's one activity. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it yet.
Okay.
It's not like a Miguel centric, like come see Miguel. But
Yeah.
I do know that I'm involved in one thing. So I'll find
Okay.
out. Yeah, but I'll be around. I'll be around the whole weekend, basically.
Okay. Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. Now, everybody knows, but you go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you, all your amazing content.
Thank you. On Instagram at the Miguel Luciano, TikTok Miguel underscore Luciano, and OnlyFans Ramona Singer 2.0. I'm kidding.
I was like, what are you showing on OnlyFans? I
Yeah.
got so excited.
Thank you. I mean, listen, someone wrote me the other day saying start an OnlyFans. So I don't know, but I think I have to do it as Marisol with a cocky. Marisol, actually, I told Marisol the other day on the phone, I was like, as a person who gets bored pretty easily, I'm always thinking of new series to do with the Housewives. She was like, hey, do the Housewives doing OnlyFans? I'm like, okay. So it's actually Marisol's idea. She's helping me make a buck. God bless her.
Oh my God. I'll literally send you my list of things that I was going to ask you to do, because I couldn't ask. I just like put a ton there, and I was like, we'll just see
Yeah,
what he wants to do.
that's so
All right. Well, don't hang up, and everybody make sure you're following me as well at Pink Shade Pod. I'm not as big as Miguel here, but I'm
or maybe
working.
you're getting there, baby.
Oh, working and working. Okay. Thanks.